Carmona.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Like car and the Monas.
We are back, episode number 2. And in the building, I have the beautiful and lovely Tiffany Carmona.
Hello, hello, hello.
How you doing today, Tiffany?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
All right, so short story. I've been doing Tiffany, 15 years maybe?
About
a long time. And so since that time, we kind of fell out of touch. But we found each other on Facebook. I mean, not Facebook, on Instagram, which is, I guess that's the alumni place for everybody.
Yes.
But we found each other again, and so I've been watching her hustle. I've been watching her build her business, and so we're here to talk about that today.
Yeah.
So, the Drink Fairy. So Tiffany, how you doing? First off, how you doing today?
I'm doing really good. I'm like in a really good place. You know, business is really good. It could be better. You know, COVID, everyone's
right?
kind of suffering, but you know, I'm just staying really optimistic and ready for holiday season and 2021.
I know, right? So you feel better? Got your coffee now?
So much better. I'm such a coffee snob, but I'll give everything else up but coffee.
See, you know what? I don't drink coffee. I've tried. Like I tried in high school. I didn't like it. I tried in art.
That's good.
I tried in art school. Couldn't do it. I tried a Frappuccino. I may can get away with that, but I'm more hot chocolate with a little Baileys in there, and then we good. So Tiffany, tell us a little bit. So first off, tell us what is the Drink Fairy.
Okay, so my business, the Drink Fairy, we rent out. Well, I guess rent out, but you guys can hire bartenders or wait staff from us for any type of party. So it could be a house party, corporate party, wedding receptions are really big in my business. You know, quinces, pretty much anything where you need any type of staff to help, you know, carry out your party is where we'll be at.
Okay, cool. So you say you do a lot of so you quinceañeras, weddings,
corporate parties, you know, pretty much wherever you need a TABC certified bartender or you need some wait staff to help with like tray passing appetizers, you know, drinks, we're there.
So what got you started doing that?
Well, I was bartending and I was just looking for extra money. You know, I had some financial goals, and so I started doing temp with another like service where they would, you know, hire you for whatever they needed, like
right.
a bartender for a house party. And so I got more of my experience from doing setups and from that catering company.
Right.
And then they started leaving me in charge with like other people, like you're gonna be in charge of like 4 or 5 people and you're gonna go out to this house. So like I became a captain, and I was like, you know what, I'm making all these people money, I could do this myself, you know.
Right. I've
proven myself. So, and that's how it kind of started, and it's just grown into this big brand that I had a dream about, and now it's coming to life, and it's amazing.
That's what's up. I know a lot of people say, oh, well, I can do that. And then they go out and they figure how hard it is to do it and make it work. And they don't want to get so I always tell people, like, you can do whatever you want to do. Because, you know, I do branding and marketing. So people always tell me, oh, TK, I got this idea for this. I'm trying to brand that. And I'm like, hey, if you know what you got to give up to make it work, you can do it. But outside of that, you got to understand that part. So what are some of the struggles you've had trying to make the transition? Now, are you doing this full time or are you working?
No, this is my full-time profession. Yeah.
All right, so no side hustle. This is how you, this bread and butter.
This is where my bread and butter is, and you know, after being in business for a couple years now, I did raise my rates, and you know, I feel like I had the right to with the reviews and the service, and you know, the repeat clients that we have are, you know, they've become like family. They really support my vision and where my brand and company is going. So it's been really amazing.
Cool. That's what's up.
Yeah.
So how long have you been doing it? So when did you start, and like how long have you been doing it?
So I started actually back in 2015,
Okay.
and I really started out with like a 6-foot table, some $4 buckets from Walmart. Like I had no coolers. I had, I was like, I just wanted to get the name out there.
Right.
I was working for like dirt cheap. Like I would work 6 hours for like $150 and whatever tips.
I remember that day. Yeah.
You gotta start somewhere, and so and then I went through a divorce, so I kind of let my business go. During that time, I had won Dallas Mobile Bartender for 2015 of the
cool,
year.
That's
So
very
that
cool.
really gave me that motivation I needed to like, oh, okay, so this is not just going to be a side hustle. Like I could actually make this into something if I truly wanted to.
Right.
Couple years go by, and my daughter turned 18, and she was like, start the business again. I can help you. Let's do it. I know you're not happy. And that by this time I was working at a bank.
Right.
So I was like, I'm very outgoing, being in the service industry for so
Right.
long, having to go from that to like a bank. I had to
Right.
keep a cap on my language, how I acted.
Oh yeah.
I'm like,
All the restrictions.
all the restrictions. I'm like, this is not for me. But so I started in April 2018 again, and I've not stopped. I quit the bank and just focused on this brand that I wanted to build, and here we are.
Okay. So tell people about the brand itself. Like, so when you got started, what was the dream in the beginning versus like how it is now?
So like in the beginning, obviously I was a little more money motivated. I was like, I just need to like book these parties, and we need to make this amount of money to cover at least, the expenses. And then I want to go on vacation, so I'm going to use this, so that was the main focus. But once I saw that it was about, I could actually brand it, I didn't want it to be just about someone hiring a bartender, because anybody can pour drinks.
Right.
I didn't want it to just be anybody. Wait staff is like bitch work, you know what I mean? Like people like to say, because you're picking up trash, you're cleaning up after people. Nobody wants that. But I can say my staff are eagles. Like they're amazing at what they do, and they truly enjoy it. So it makes it that much better. But going back to the whole, I wanted it to be an experience, because everything's so social media driven.
Right.
I wanted it to be like, okay, well, if our bartender comes in, some of our bartenders can do flair tricks or, just basic bartending. So I wanted it to be where you were left with an impression, just not like, oh, they were a good bartender, maybe we'll consider them. Like, with us, it's like the brand, it's like, oh, the Drink Fairy, we're known for coming out in some of our events in tulle skirts, like giving that fairy whimsical vibe.
I've seen some of you on Instagram. It's pretty cool, some stuff.
Yeah, so some of our services that we offer is where I really push the Drink Fairy with the skirts, and us women, we eat that shit up, so it's I kind of use that as my motivation to like come up and be innovative with ideas, and like, oh, this will be very Instagram worthy while being a very pretty drink display.
Right.
And because everything goes on social media.
Everything.
So I kind of changed the branding towards that, and now it's just trying to keep coming up with these experiences that people can have for their events. I mean, you're spending a lot of money on staff, so it's like, what can we do to enhance that experience without anyone really breaking the bank? Because like I said, my staff truly enjoy what they do, and they have full-time jobs, and they're like, hey, do we have an assignment this weekend? Like, they're eager, and I love it.
That's what's up. Yeah, when your staff is enjoying coming to work, trust me, it makes your work so much easier.
No, and I'm kind of the personality, I'm not a very perfectionist. I'm just very particular of how I want an event carried out and what I expect of my staff, and my staff knows, and sometimes I get a little bit of anxiety, and they know how to deal with me.
Right.
But I'm not that bad, because they can come to me and be like, you were kind of getting a little crazy there for a second, but you calm down.
So did you get super anxious?
I don't get anxious, because like I'm confident that I've trained my staff well.
Right.
I think
that takes a while to get to where you trust the people.
No, yeah, and I do now, and that's why I don't freak out as much as I used to, because I was like, we gotta set up. We have a certain time to set up, and you guys are just standing around, and I forget that they're sometimes waiting for direction from me.
Right.
And as a leader, that's kind of where you have to take a step back and be like, I need to see these people for what they're bringing to the table. So I'll be like, Sylvia, I'm gonna leave you in charge. You know what I expect. Do the damn thing. And so she'll set up an appetizer spot. And I'm like, perfect, you know. And I'll tweak some things, but they're on it.
So like I'm real big on kind of like, okay, let me like you said, let me see what you can do. Now life happens, and so things happen, mistakes happen. So I'm kind of like, okay, if you screw this up, how you gonna fix it? I'm real big on that. Like, how you gonna fix it? Like, without running to me. Now, if you can fix without running to me, we're good. Because I had a business partner, and so when we were sharing office space, I'm on a week. I'm working all the time, so I'm on a Saturday working, and she was in, and I said, hey, what you doing on a Saturday? Because she normally with her kids, and she, oh, well, so and so screwed this up. I'm trying to fix it. I'm like, well, why aren't they fixing it?
Yeah.
And I was always trying to like instill that in her. Like, I'm like, they screwed up. Why are you fixing it? Because if they can't fix it, why are they even here?
Right.
So it's kind of so having a team that can like follow through, and like I said, if they make a mistake, they don't have to rely on you so much. Like I said, they just need direction. Like tell them the game plan and why you doing it, and they can figure all that. So you always good. So you got good generals, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Yeah. So currently, how's your marketing structure? Like how do you land clients? Well, social media, obviously.
Right. I do have a couple platforms that I do reach out on, like I'm on the Knot, which is a wedding for weddings and receptions. Okay. Wedding Wire. I'm also on Gig Salad, and actually Gig Salad is really the one that kind of helped me. That and Thumbtack. I'm no longer on Thumbtack anymore, just because their structures and their fees for bids are, on clients coming in, they want you to pay a little more than what. But mainly Gig Salad, those sites, and social media. And then if I'm at Party City or if I'm at a party place, I have business cards on me, and so I'm very all about approaching people. I'm like, hey, I see you're planning a party. I offer bartending and waitstaff, and we also have a couple of other services that you could possibly use, like our white beverage cart for dessert tables, drink displays. I have a 120 champagne wall, you know what I mean? Fits 120 flutes. And, cool. And the thing is massive. So when people see it, they think it's little. I'm like, no, this thing is a monster. It's an 8x8. So
that's pretty big.
And I have little girls, like I'm 5'2", and most of my staff is like my height. And we're carrying this 8-foot wall. It has wheels on it. And so when they see us, they're like, oh my gosh. So, we got to stay on my fitness. I'm like, eventually maybe I'll hire some dudes, but it's like, for me, I'm all about girl power.
So your whole staff is all women?
Yeah, I have 2 males that work for me right now.
Okay.
And Timo, he actually just turned 18 in March, and he's been with me since he was 15. So I was like his first job, and he's amazing, and people always write good reviews about him, and he's just a very good kid in college now. So he works for me when he can,
right.
But he's solid, a team player. Ivan's my newest male bartender, and solid as well. And then I got a couple new guys that are bringing on the team just to kind of make it a little more diverse. But at first it was like I kind of just wanted to keep it all female, but then I was like, no, I need some guys on the team, you know what I mean? And I was like, if they don't mind being a drink fairy.
A drink fairy.
No, but when I talk to the guys, they seem like very proud to represent my brand. Cool. And so, they like my hustle and what we're about. So, like, as you can just give me 100 and call it a day. We're good.
Hey, that's okay. I need this little quick bread when we good.
Yes.
So besides social media, what does it do for like how else do you get business besides that? Like have you actually made a marketing plan? You kind of,
Actually, no. I've been in talks with a lot of people, like setting like one of those press
releases,
press junk, or is that not a press junket? I forgot what it's called.
Press kit?
Like a media kit.
Oh, like a media kit.
Yeah, like a
Press
media
kit.
kit, yeah. So I haven't got around to it just because like I was trying to do it all like myself.
Well, you know I can help you with that.
Yeah, yes, for sure, sir. Like I'm definitely, now that we're going into our third year, I definitely need to step it up a notch, especially because of the pandemic. Like I lost a lot of business, and
Right.
People are just scared to have their weddings, or they're gonna postpone it. And
Yeah, so like we have, one of my hustles, we do DJing. One of my guys, he's the main guy. I'm just kind of like brand marketing, but then
Right.
I'm learning that the software for whatever purposes. But he does like a lot of weddings. He does a lot of weddings and corporate gigs, and so one thing was like he lost like a lot. I mean, we had a conversation. I think he lost maybe like 15 grand in business because of COVID. Oh, we're talking about just doing that little 4-month window.
yeah, that's
So-
like big wedding. That was like big wedding season for us. Like April, May, June. Like that was like prime. And
And we were trying to, and I was trying to get us to go to like the trade show, the wedding trade show,
Yeah.
to go network, like set up. I was creating the booth and getting the thing ready, and I reached out to the people and getting pricing, and then this happened. And I know there's like big things at your wedding trade shows.
yeah. So it's I pulled out a couple myself. I kind of lost money, but it's just you kind of had to make smart choices during that time,
Right.
and I now, after June, when they started letting everybody start hosting again, and then they shut us down, and
Right.
and now things are back open. I had to actually add a little COVID clause in my contracts, like, hey, now that the quarantine is lifted,
Right.
you are booking knowing that we could possibly be shut down again. And I was giving full refunds prior to that, and I lost a lot. And so now I'm like,
Gotta put a kill fee in there.
I'm like, once you pay your deposit, that's it. No COVID excuses, nada.
Hey, you gotta have it. So
It
like,
says rain, weather, storm, COVID, no refund.
hey, that's
I'm a business at the end of the day. Like, this is not a hobby for me. I support my family. I have other people that are looking to me to help, like single moms that work with me, and so this extra side hustle could mean an extra vacation for them that they normally wouldn't be able to afford, or
it just supplements a lot.
just
for them.
supplements a lot, and it also gives them time out of the house away from when their kids go to their dads. They have something to do, so they're not just sitting in their
Right.
feelings. They're feeling like they're attributing to whatever
Right.
is going on, and it makes me feel good that I can provide that for them.
Have you thought about consulting? Like, do you do any consulting, or how's it?
I've been asked, and I honestly like.
If they're asking, you should supply it.
Yeah, like I just don't know where to start. That's something like I never even thought, but it's been kind of tugging. Like this whole podcast thing, like I
Yeah.
love it, like
Thank
because you can reach so many people, and just the diversity, the people that listen to podcasts, you know what I mean?
Right.
And so, but yeah, consulting is something that's been brought up like many times. Like I get people reach out to me about business and starting a business, especially women in the Latina community. I grew up in Hawaii, so I don't have that big Latina cultural background, but I've really embraced it since being in Texas, and
Right.
it's helped me get in touch with that part of my ethnicity and my race, because
Right.
I am Mexican. But growing up in Hawaii, it's like
Right.
a local girl. I'm at the beach every day. So, but no, I find that with the Drink Fairy, I've really worked on my communication and just speaking, and I think people are always just so engaged with what I have to say, and
Right.
and I love it, and so it's something that I would possibly be looking into with you.
Consulting's a really good side hustle. So think about it. You can charge a lot more for your time. And if you pretty much know, 'cause like I said, you've been doing this for about 5 years now, so you pretty much know generally what people need to do. Think about it, at least at a base, you know what most people should be doing. And so that helps you kind of formulate, so you can kind of manage your time better. So for consulting for me is I would do like an hour free. And I know a conversation will at least be 2 to 3 hours. if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And so, because people come, hey, TK, how'd you get started? And, and then, marketing for me is more of, I got to understand communication tools. So I guess, so for me, it's like, okay, what does your brand look like? Who are you involved with? What is your identity? So like uniforms, what's your staff look like? Marketing materials, menu. I'm using like a restaurant because that's the easy one I can go to. So like you got menus, you got staffing, uniforms. You may do promotional products. You may do events. Whether you're doing catering, whether you're doing in store, you may go to events to kind of promote the kitchen or whatever. So that's a good tool. Consultants is a really good way to get extra revenue coming. Because think about it. You ever heard the saying, "The game is sold, not to be told"?
I've heard it. Yeah.
Growing up like in hip hop, So it's the same thing. Like people. If you have information to help people, people are willing to pay for it if it's valuable.
Yeah. No, I mean, I could show you my phone. Like, people are like, what do I do if I want to go into business, but I don't have like this, but I want to be a DBA or, and I kind of tell them, the difference between a DBA and an LLC.
Right.
I'm like, especially for me, and I deal with alcohol and all that. Like, I definitely need to make sure that, my I's are dotted, T's are crossed when it comes to insurance, liability, all of that, making sure everyone has their right licensing and documents and all that. So, I definitely do a lot of that, and in my downtime, they'll message me or like, I had a lot of women reach out to me like, I started business because of you, and I'm just like, that makes me feel good. Like,
people call you like, if you had a bad day and then someone called the blue, hey TK, hey Tiffany, just because of you I'm doing this now, or it brightens your day up a lot.
It definitely does, because it's like, wow, people are watching and people are really holding value to what I have to say or what I have, or what I'm doing, and that's a good feeling. Yeah. It really is, and I want other people to feel the way I feel.
So, and just another little bit of advice for the consulting side. So you can always do a blog to kind of get some free advice, and you can do personal one-on-ones. Yeah. And you also can do, with COVID happened, you always do like video.
Oh yeah, Zoom. I do. Yeah.
You do Zoom meetings and stuff like that. So, and then you do trainings. I mean, I don't know. So like, so to get into this, kind of a segue. So the bartending side of it. So how did you get into bartending? Like how does a person become a bartender?
So for me, I started at Hooters, and back then Hooters didn't have like liquor. It was just beer and wine, So it was just like, a beer bunny. I just pouring beer all day. And then, then they started incorporating liquor, and then I started working at the strip club and they were showing me how to bartend, and I just was very motivated, and so it was a lot of on-the-job experience. Most restaurants, they'll want you starting off as a waiter, and then you'll work your way up to bartender, and that's just how it works. And I've just been very fortunate to like come in, show them what I've got, and they've moved me to the bar right away, and it just, I think I just had the personality for it, and it's more than just pouring drinks sometimes at these places, especially like I worked at Applebee's for like 2.5 years.
Right.
But Applebee's, I honestly made the best. I made more money there than I did with Hooters, which is crazy.
Well, you can get tanked at Applebee's.
Yeah,
you can get tanked at
those dollar beer. Dollar Jello shots.
Get you some $2
$2 tarantula shots.
$2 Paps, So those are always good. Yeah, but then people get the drink and then they get to spill in their feelings.
Oh my gosh, yes, and like the Applebee's I worked at, Sundays was a good night because I had all the industry people in the area that after they would get off of work, they would come to Applebee's because we're open till 2. Just got everybody lit, and all the money they made that night went to me.
That's always good. Okay, cool. Okay, so marketing. So a lot of social media.
Talking to people. I mean, I know I could probably branch out more, but it's just me doing like literally everything. And financially, I was getting to the spot where I could hire someone to help me, which I was, and then COVID happened. So I've had to kind of come up with some different things. I offered mimosa basket packages where I was putting these big baskets together where it had champagne, orange juice, flutes. Like I just made it really pretty. And during COVID, a lot of people didn't want to leave their house. So I did all that. I was like, people had birthdays that were celebrated.
Right.
So I'm like, order a basket through me. I'll go deliver it on your behalf. And
Right.
when I would deliver, the people's faces just like lit up because they weren't expecting it.
Right.
They were in their home. They were missing socialization. So when they got something, like literally tears were falling from their faces. And I'm just like, okay, this is a good
Right.
way for me to still have my business known, make money, and make people happy.
Yeah, because in business you don't want to. So my last guest, Raul, we were talking, Laura, and we were saying how you don't really want to attract during like downtimes. You really want to say, hey, I'm still open. Hey, we still care. We're checking on our clients. We're making sure everybody's good.
Yes.
And those follow-ups really, really benefit you a lot. Because like I say, people, hey, you know what? Tiffany brought me this basket, and I wasn't expecting that, and now that person wants to tell other people about your services, about your business, and even the whole basket thing could be a whole nother business within a business.
Within a business, yeah. I still get people that ask me if I'm still doing the baskets. I'm like, yeah, I'm still willing to do baskets. Like, it's not something that I've never taken away. It's just that a lot more people are now able to socialize face to face. So I don't think it's as personal as they probably would like it. But
Right.
It's something I'd still offer. I'm like, yeah, it's just.
All I'm saying is, between now, we've got just some consulting gigs. We got the basket sales.
Yes.
I mean, sound like you're just expanding. You're just from.
I'm just, someone told me you need to focus on one thing, get good at it, and work on the next thing. I'm like, well, why can't I do it all at the same time?
Well, no, you can, but here's the thing, though.
Right.
Whatever you're doing,
Yeah.
it should be like within your wheelhouse. So think about it.
Yeah, most definitely.
So you're not really doing multiple things. I mean, at the end of the day, it's all bartending type services.
Yes.
And so they're just kind of like sub brands or sub kind of little outlets. So think about it, like within any business. You ever heard people talk about like seven multiple income streams you should have?
Yes, and then you'll become a millionaire.
Right. So within that, think about it. So one income stream is the bartender. So that's your base, right? The mobile services. Then you have like if you do the baskets, that's 2. Then you do consulting, that's 3. So now you need to figure out 4 more, and so I figured this formula right. It's 150 a day. I write a to-do list every week because stuff I have to get done. At the top of it, I write everything in black ink, but in red, I write 150 a day. So if you do one, and I'm finna run off the number so we can keep the conversation short because my math's kind of bad right now. But so if you do 150 a day, right, every day, that's roughly about $54,000 a year. That's one stream, right? Now you multiply that times 7, that's $330,000. So in 3 years, and I'm talking profit, that's $1 million.
That's crazy.
So if you can do like enough baskets a day, you're making 150 a day, whether that's in person, online, right? Then your bartender service, what that is, and then your consulting, 150 a day. I'm just saying, add like 4 more streams. I mean, that's at a base.
No, I'm definitely
That's at a base.
in that mind space to like, retrograde is over, so I'm like, let's do this.
That's what's up. So I'm hearing you talking, and just I hear you talking about your business, everything you got going, and you just seem so excited. Like the energy is there. Like I see this glow around you as far as what you're doing. So so my whole show, as you know, and I know you follow me on Instagram. It's the whole hustle, laughter, life, which is hustle hard to live the way you want to, hustle hard to live the way you want to, laugh as much as you can, as often as you can, and remember life is short, so enjoy it while it lasts. So with this energy that I see in you right now, what keeps things in perspective? Like what is the energy coming from? Because your hustle is the bartending service. So like what keeps things in perspective for you?
Honestly, my family. Like, I was a young mom. I have 3 children that are over the age of 18 now. I have a 21-year-old, a 20-year-old, and an 18-year-old.
I would never think that.
Yeah, and then I have a 13-year-old and an 11-year-old. So, when I was younger, I like to say I wasn't probably a very good mom, and because I was young, and
Right.
through my life experiences, I was able to grow, and now they're seeing me in a different light that they've never saw me before.
Right.
And so I just want to keep that impression for my children to let them know, like, you can come from a crappy background or crappy experiences. It's how you pick yourself up. And and my kids tell me all the time, they're like, you're such a better mom now. You're such a better person, you know, all this kinds of things. So that keeps me motivated. And the fact that they see me hustle. So my 11-year-old was doing online learning, and they were talking about famous people. And my son's like, my mom's famous.
That's cool.
And they're like, your mom's famous? Yeah. He's like, yeah. She's the drink fairy, you know? And so
that's freaking awesome.
The teacher is like, what? So the next day he brings like some material of the drink fairy. He's like,
Right.
this is why my mom's famous. He's like, my mom's been in this magazine and this magazine, and she's on a podcast. And so like he's very proud. So that really fuels that for me, because
Right.
you know, he sees that, and he's a boy. Boys don't go around talking about their mothers like that, you know. So the fact that my children can speak that highly of me after everything we went through, and you know how you and I met, so it's
Yeah.
like, so you know, it's
One of the reasons why I brought you on, because I'm like super proud of you too.
thank you.
Because you come a very long way.
Very, very long
Yeah.
way. And so that just what keeps me motivated. Like, if I stayed in that mindset and if I chose that life path, you know what I mean? Who knows where it would have taken me? I just was hungry enough for my children, honestly, and just leaving bad marriage, all of that stuff,
Right.
you know, just wanting it for myself too.
So you think it's like a hunger you gotta just have, like this, I gotta want it. Like, do you think that's something you learn, something that's kind of instilled in you? Like, how did you get motivated? Like, you know what I'm saying? How do you stay motivated to keep
Motivated. For me, it was just seeing other people around me obtaining their dreams and goals, and you know, just not letting anything stop them in the way from that. You know, like
Right.
I always grew up, and it was just like, you know, they were like, you can't do this and you can't, and especially coming from Hawaii, like it's
Right.
a small island. Like I had no idea what the world held for me, you know.
Right.
So the fact that I started hanging around people that were a good influence, or
Right.
you know, it's just something that it has to come from inside. You have to have that drive, you know. No one
Right.
can do that for you.
Right.
You just have to really detach yourself from things that aren't really necessary to your growth, and but you have to be in that right mind frame in order to do so. And you know, it's just how bad do you want it? That's kind of what I tell everybody. It's just like, do you have the drive? Like, it's not easy. Are you willing to put up with not booking for 2 weeks at a time, and then one day you get like 15 bookings in one day, and it's just like, whoo, you know, kind of thing.
Let me tell you what happened to me one time. So I had some bids out, and I probably had about, I know for sure I had like a $15,000 bid out, right? So I'm planning around this project about to come in, right? And it didn't happen. And I had to go work in a warehouse for like 6 months. You know what I'm saying? Like, luckily I had a buddy on the warehouse, so I know a lot of business, so I was contracted, so I would kind of like write that stuff out. But still, I had to go work in a warehouse for 6 months.
Yeah.
But I would do that like 3 days a week. And at night, I'd come in and work, and then on Mondays and Fridays, I'd be working in my office. But like, I told somebody the other day, if you can't deal with 3 strikeouts, you're not gonna make it working for yourself.
Yeah.
You know, because you get this motivation, like, you know what, I'm seeing people around me doing well, like there's no jealousy in it. It's just, you know what, that inspires me to want something for myself.
Yeah.
And so
You definitely have to build a relationship with no. The word no.
Yes.
And you cannot take it personally, you know.
Right.
And that's one thing I tell people who also want to go into business. Like, I have a lot of stay-at-home moms that do crafting.
Right.
You know, and I'm like, you can't be angry about it, you know what I mean? You just have to be like, okay, next person. There's 8 billion people on this planet.
Right.
You don't have to have a certain demographic, you know, that you know, want to cater to. You have to expand so you can get those clientele that is your demographic, is what you use, your ideal client. So I could hear 30 no's, and then that one yes be the $1 million baby, you know what I mean?
Right? Yeah.
So you kind of just have to like take each no as an experience. Like, okay, is there anything I could have done differently? What, you know, even after every event, I tell my staff, what could we have done differently? What could we improve? Like, okay, well, yes, trash cans, trash bags. Let's
Right.
bring more of this product, or we don't need to bring so much with us, that kind of stuff, you know.
So there's a lot of self-awareness in the business and in yourself you got to have
Most
to make it
definitely.
work.
Yeah, definitely be open as well to critiques and criticism. It's not to do any harm against you, but it's just to benefit your business.
Right.
So, you know, that's how I see it. I mean, sometimes I'm human. And when I feel
Right.
like, oh shit, I did the damn thing, you know, and they're
Right.
like, well, you did a really good job, but, you know, we wish this would have happened. I was like, oh, okay, I apologize. I wasn't aware. But
Right.
my team and I will make sure this doesn't happen again.
Accountability.
Or accountability. You know, just that's all people want to hear as well. Is like,
Right.
you know, accountability and that you're going to correct the mistake for the next time. And 99 times out of 10, you know, they're going to hire you again because
Right.
they're satisfied and, you know, you accepted what they had to say.
How hard is not criticism, but how hard is it for you to admit when you're wrong, or if you make a mistake and you know you got to say, okay, let me apologize and fix. Like, how hard is that for you? It's super. Like I have a super ego.
Yeah.
I'll do it because I know it needs to be done, but it's super hard for me to do it.
Yeah, when it comes to like my events and with my staff, I'm very quick to at first it was hard because I'm like, I'm the boss. How dare they tell me what to do now? You know, but you know, I'm human and they're the ones actually working the events. So I have to take what they say to heart because, you know what I mean, I'm there to help them set up and then I leave and they carry out the rest of the event. So I'm very open. I apologize if I make a mistake. There's so many times where I've worked on events where I forgot something and I had to run or my staff had to leave and go get something.
Right.
And I definitely make it up to them and they know that I'm the only person getting everything ready for our events. And
Right.
so, you know, I definitely apologize a lot. It's hard when other people do it, I'm not gonna lie, because I'm
Right.
like, bitch, what do you know about that? But no. The, you know, you just have to take it for what it is and like, and
Cool.
yeah, just smile, you know, even if it's not something you want to
Yeah.
hear at that point. I mean, obviously, therapy helped me.
Well, that's what business is for. So
Yeah.
So let me ask you this. So since you've been in business 5 years now, and you've done some marketing, you've done some good, you know, you found these opportunities. What have you learned as a business owner?
I definitely learned organization is like key. Being consistent. Consistency is really what gets you your business. You know, you can't expect jobs to fall in your lap. You actually have to go out and get it. And
I had to stress that to clients a lot, just from the marketing side. Like, people think, oh, I'm going to put up a website. I'm going to get out of business. No, you have to get people to come to the website. And there's tools you have to use to do that. You have to go to events. You got to let people know that you're at the event and get people to come to the table and keep coming back for more. And so,
yes, most definitely. And because I am a small business, women-owned, I get a lot of influencers and other, you know, networking type of empowerment groups that want me to come and either speak or bring my champagne wall or do something interactive with their people. And it's like I have to start training these people through my social media, like, we are like a legitimate business. Like, this is not a side hustle. I can't give freebies. Alcohol is not cheap, and you know what I mean? So it's like, if you want me to sponsor your event, that's something that it has to be very, very, very meaningful to me, because I'm going to have to put up, or, you know, the business side is going to have to put up the money.
Right.
And so it's just trying to train these people to let them know, like, you know, we would love to help out, but our main focus is making money.
I know, right? Have you tried to put together because I have my built-in discounts, because I have friends. So a lot of my friends don't do business with me because they say, "Oh, Chica, you kind of expensive." I said, "I'm not expensive. Trust me. I worked in the agency world for like I've been doing like 20 years now on my own. Mm-hmm. I am not expensive versus what they used to charge for my time.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I just raised my rates like last year. Mm-hmm. So I forgot what I was about to say. So how do you go about You know, I forgot about to say to you. Mine was like, because you know what, we're talking. I thought another question while we're talking, but anyway, so we talk organization, consistency.
Just being very consistent and organized. Like for me, that's key, because I am a single parent doing it all on my own. I have, I watch my grandson as well during the day, so trying to manage.
Hi, grandma, fellas. Hi, grandma.
Thanks. So it's just I really need to delegate my time and be productive in those times. Like when the baby's asleep, boom, I'm on the computer. Even when he's doing something, I try to at least have my laptop out so I can get stuff done.
Right.
And then there are days where I'm just like, I'm feeling like, okay, I did a couple posts, I'm just gonna let it go, because there are times when, like, especially in my business, when you got leads and then nothing's biting, you get a little defeated. But now, like I said, I've developed a relationship with and not getting leads all the time, so that the next day it's like boom, boom, boom. Like last Tuesday, I booked 7 parties. I'm like, okay, and now, and then I've just been selling bids out all week, and I still haven't heard anything. And then this morning, my phone is blowing up, so it's like it's a good work day. So after here, I'm just gonna get back on the grind.
That's what's up. Okay, so how can people find you?
People can find me through social media. I'm on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. I'm not really as active on Twitter. I'm trying to get my daughter to help me with that. I have my website, thedrinkfairy.net. I'm on Wedding Wire and The Knot under The Drink Fairy. If you Google The Drink Fairy, will pop up. Bartending, mobile bartender, Dallas, Drink Fairy will pop up. So just remember The Drink Fairy, and we'll pop up wherever.
That's what's up. Yes. Oh, one more thing. So everybody, y'all have to go check out Tiffany and thedrinkfairy.net. Like I said, you got wedding parties, you got a big corporate event. That's the lady you want to get in contact with.
Yes.
Tiffany, one more thing before you go.
Okay.
Do you read a lot?
I do read.
Okay, read audiobooks. What's your preference?
Both. Both. Yeah, okay. Both.
So what do you read? What's the last thing you read?
The last thing I read was by what's her name? By that nasty gal. She opened up a clothing store, but her story was kind of weird. And then The One.
The One?
Yeah, it talked about managing staff and stuff. It was a little deep and over my head at first. I think I need to read it one more time. But I've been listening to a lot of podcasts lately.
Which podcast you listen to?
So I have a couple that
besides this one, you'll start listening to.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, and I need to find you one.
Yeah.
So like I listen to Modern Day Mujeres because it's more in touch with my feminine side and like women empowerment and just making me feel like I'm in my power as a woman and as a business owner. Sometimes Grant. I don't know how to say his last name.
Grant Cardone?
Yes.
Yeah, he's a good one. Yeah.
He's good. Gary V. Gary V. It makes me want to cry sometimes, but I'm like, okay. Sometimes I think he's just a little too harsh, but
he's really not. So
he's really. I know he's not, and he's just telling you what you need to hear and telling it to you like very cutthroat, like you know what I mean. But sometimes like I'm a Pisces, so I'm kind of sensitive, and I'm just like, he just hurt my feelings.
No, I like Gary. We resonate a lot. So I like his back. Resonate with me when he said like you got to eat shit for a while before you get to the good.
Yes.
And I went through a lot of shit to get to the good I got in my life. So I get that. No doubt.
Same.
All right, cool. All right, well, hey, that's it. Episode 2.
Yeah.
Tiffany, thank you for being here.
Yes, guys.
And so the goal is at least come back again soon.
No, most definitely. And
I'm glad you came. I'm glad I've known you for so long, and I know we don't hang out as much, but hopefully we'll fix that.
Yes.
But regardless of that, if you know anything I can do for you, let me know. I'm here for you. Got your back. I always Instagram you. Hey, I tried to send some stuff, motivational stuff.
Yes.
Like, hey, I got your back. Let me know when you need me. But hey. Thank you for coming.
No, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it. And, if you guys call and inquire, you guys will get 10% off. Just say that you guys heard me on the podcast.
So there you go. Free promo. All right, that's it. Episode 2. We're out.
Peace.